Okay, folks, good evening, and welcome once again to Suzerain. Right, I am in a good mood today. I don't know why. It's Monday, for heaven's sake. There's a whole week ahead of me of work, and I've got a busy week at work. I shouldn't be happy on a Monday. I should be like, oh, it's going to be a arduous week ahead. But you know what? I'm in good spirits. Good evening, Robert. Good evening, Jet. Good evening, Crazy Canuck. Welcome. Good to see you all. So, yeah, we're looking forward to the stream today. Well, I am anyway, certainly. Excuse me. But you've got to understand, I've got tonsillitis, all right? I'm not as bad as I was when I was trying to stream last week and struggling and coughing and that to struggle on. And yesterday was not as bad as then either, but today even better. Started my antibiotics on Saturday, so it's clearing it, but it's still not right. It's still 100%. It's about, I don't know, 60% maybe, possibly. So obviously a lot of reading involved here. So I penciled the stream in for 8 because I thought I can do 2 hours, 8 till 10, and that's probably going to be enough talking and reading for my throat, so I'll just keep it to a 2-hour stream. My intention is still to keep it relatively short, but we'll go as long as I can manage, but we might be finishing around about 9:30. And the reason why I brought the stream forward from the initial planned 8 o'clock is because I wanted to play the game and I couldn't be bothered to sit here doing nothing. I thought I might have been a bit busy this evening before the stream, but it transpired that no, because the power went off, which freed me up a little bit, shall we say. Flim Flam we'll keep to a minimum because I did all that yesterday, so you all know all about my ailments. But yeah, I'll just give you the boring stuff from today. So basically, I've got a holiday booked. I booked a holiday to Turkey. I don't think have I mentioned this? I booked a holiday to Turkey last week, so I'm going to Turkey in 4 weeks. It's one of those kind of late situations. It's like, you know what? I fancy a holiday. Okay, I'll book one and we'll go. In 5 weeks, actually. So we're off to Turkey, 5 weeks, tomorrow, actually. As a kind of a bonus holiday, if you will. We've got 2 big holidays planned, one in May, we're off to Jamaica, and one in November, we're off on a cruise, more than likely. Caribbean area, probably. But I fancied a little kind of winter getaway, whilst it's still cold and damp and miserable here. So I thought, you know what, Turkey? Never been. And a friend that I speak to really recommended this hotel. So I spent hours finding this hotel online to get the cheapest deal. And I'm talking like 4 hours. I browsed the internet, many travel comparison sites, trying to find flights. I know every flight in and out of the Ankara airport now, like the back of my hand. Anyway, using a website called Holiday Gems, I think I mentioned this, I found a nice bargain holiday for Turkey. Flights from good old Leeds Bradford Airport. No schlepping to Manchester, even worse to London. I can go straight up from my doorstep on Jet2, fly out to Turkey, enjoy 7 days, won't be scorching, but I'm treating it as a relaxing kind of retreaty holiday. And what I mean by that is I'm not expecting to be laid in the beach or in the sun, whatever. It might be pleasant enough to do that if the sun's out, but I'm going just to get away from hustle, bustle. I'm taking books with me because I didn't read any books in Mexico because it was very busy, because my friend's sister and husband went, so we were just doing stuff. It was really good fun. Whereas this holiday, I want to resort back to the old chill. All-inclusive, branded drinks, apparently. Drink Food, delectable, delightful, top quality, apparently, according to all the reviews. The average review score on TripAdvisor, one of the average review score sites, average review score 95 out of 100. This hotel is supposed to be immaculate. And I've had it from the horse's mouth from my friends who have gone back to this hotel 6 or 7 times because it's that damn good. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's got an indoor heated swimming pool, so it can piss it down outside, excuse me French. I don't care. We've got an indoor pool, not a problem. I'll just sit or even be in the pool. It's got a spa, and it's Turkey, so it's a proper Turkish style spa. And you know me, folks, from the cruises, I love myself a good spa. Massage, hydrotherapy, Turkish beds laying the heated Turkish stone beds. Love it. So all of that's going to be there. I'm just going for relaxation. So a week of that, and away from work and anything else. Perfect. Because when I come back from that holiday in March, we're getting a tranche of 15 trainees, so I'm going to be very busy for quite a while. So I thought this could be the calm before the storm, last bit of de-stress before work gets really busy at the start of April. So that is that. So we booked this holiday in March, and I was looking for Jamaica a couple of days ago as well, and got some decent prices from Jamaica as well. Well, that's just using TUI, the good old TUI. So I'll be going with TUI probably a bit further afield, but for Turkey, TUI weren't the cheapest, so I found a bit of an alternative option. There was a reason why I was going to tell. I was telling you about my holidays, and I've completely forgotten because I've gone off on a tangent a little bit. But anyway, if you get the chance, go check out Ephesus. Robert, you see, as a man that loves Roman history, it's my favourite time period, as you well know now. I've been many places that have Roman ruins. Hadrian's Wall. I've been to Rome itself, of course. I've been to other Roman ruins as well. What other Roman ruins have I been to? I've been to Herculaneum. I've been to Pompeii. I haven't yet been to the History Museum in Naples yet, but that's on my list. Don't worry. And I've been to Ephesus. I went on my second cruise. My second cruise ever in 2008 was to the Mediterranean, and it stopped off in Kusadasi, which is, I believe, a port in Turkey, and Ephesus was literally maybe 45 minutes from the port. So I've been to Ephesus, and yes, it is absolutely fantastic, especially if you're a fan of Roman ruins. It's some of it is very well preserved, actually. And the big kind of library, is it a library? You walk down the kind of main street, which is downhill. You've got the baths on the side and all the street, and then right at the bottom is this completely huge structure. And then you turn right and go down, and then you've got the open air amphitheatre, which apparently they still use. Pavarotti's played there and everything. Anyway, it's too warm for this damn thing. Get rid of that. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. If it's not too far, I might visit again. But ultimately, somebody has also told me about some places in Turkey to visit. We're on the Ankara side. It's Kamar that we're off to, or Kimur. I don't know how to pronounce these things. But apparently, there was 2 places. I can't remember the names of them. But one of them is like a rock formation where there's like bright blue pools and like a kind of tiered system. Another one is like a really deep gorge. If you're an expert in Turkey, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've not got a clue, but I've got the names of them and I'll research them out. But as I said, relaxing, and as much as I'm in Turkey, so I should probably see a site or two. If these sites are like half a day's ride away, I'm not partaking, because I'm just going to chill. And if that involves getting into a minibus and driving, no thanks. There's a time and place for sightseeing. This holiday is not it. Göbekli Tepe. I don't know. Is that one of the 2 things I've mentioned, possibly? I'm not sure. But anyway, that's my holiday. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Happy days. But anyway, I'm trying to remember the reason why I was explaining this to you. There was a point to this. and I can't remember what it is. But anyway, today's drama. This is why I was telling you it, because I've used leave from work to book this holiday. And I went on holiday for 2 weeks in November, and I'm off on holiday in 2 weeks in May. And my leave year runs from August to August. So literally, I've now had 5 weeks worth of holiday. Therefore, I'm running literally with 0 leave now. Once I've booked Jamaica in May, booked it off, I'll have 0 leave at all to last me from May until August, which is quite a long time. So what I'm trying to do is, we work flexible working, so you can build up your hours on your flexi. And then if you build up hours on your flexi, you can use your flexi to take flexi days off. So I'm trying to book some of my holiday in May using 3 or 4 flexi days, so that I don't have to book it all as annual leave. And I get an extra day for the King's birthday as well. I've already booked my bank holiday weekends off, Oliver. I do it every year. Always book a long bank holiday, so before every bank holiday Monday, I always book the Friday. I've done that already. Can cancel them if needed, but I've already done that. I had a lot of carryover left. Well, I had a lot of carryover leave from last year too. So I've used all my carryover, used all of my current leave. That's why I've enjoyed the life of Riley over the past couple of years. Holidays galore. I thought I'd just use my leave. And it all stemmed, of course, from the old lockdown and stuff, where people didn't take the damn leave. I was no exception, really. So I'm now all caught up, basically. So I was trying. So from this week, I said to myself, right, flexi, I'm going to build my flexi up. So I got up as usual at 7, and I thought, right, I'm going to work until 3:45. That's going to get me a nice 50 minutes or so worth of flexi. I do that every day this week. I'm close to 4 hours. That's almost a full day in a week. Do that between now and May, I'm laughing. So that was my plan. So I sat down, typing away. I've had a really productive day. Got some of my quality checks done, and a couple of meetings, and blah 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 blah. Got everything sorted, and I'm thinking, lunchtime. Did me half an hour exercise in my lunch break. Finished that. Logged back on. Carried on working. Thinking it's nice and warm. Quite pleasant day outside. Bit windy, but still, isn't it fine? Got to 3 o'clock, pretty much on the dot, working away feverishly. Computer screen's off, everything off. Clearly I knew straight away, power's gone off. What the hell? Burglar alarm's going off outside. Oh my god. I thought, it's fine, not a problem. I'll just work on my laptop screen. Pull my laptop round, and then realise, no internet either. Internet uses electricity to power the router. Oh, damn. So no internet. And I'm not one of these fancy people that can suddenly tether your laptop to your phone and use your 5G or whatever. But not only that, the 5G went down as well. It's like, is the apocalypse happening right now? God knows. And that lasted until 4:30. So I'd finished work at 3 and didn't get me flexi in. So I was mortified. One of the very, 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 very few times that I was upset at being forced to finish early. Who would have figured that? Normally I'm the first one out the door. Right, anyway. So, never mind. We'll try again tomorrow when I'm back in the office. And you watch, I'll be in the office, sat typing away, and 3 o'clock will come and, we've got to evacuate you because the water's off. Which is a health and safety concern, and you've got to go home if the water's off, you see. That'll just be my dang luck, wouldn't it? But anyway, that is your flim flam for the day, done in 13 minutes, which I think is quite a record. So without further ado, we're going to dive into the game, because, hey, I'm looking forward to it. But didn't you guys notice the thumbnail on the intro, or the thumbnail to the video? Or even the thumbnails to the previous videos? Have you not noticed anything a bit different to them? Before we go any further, noticed anything? Yes, of course, yes. Our good old artsy Liv Oh, Ollie, I know. You two are thick as bloody thieves, I'm telling you. Right, anyway, but yes. Uncle Mozilla created the original thumbnail. And then our beloved Liv said, send me the thumbnail, I'm going to do some work on it. I'm like, okay. And she has recreated our version, of course, of Mr. President, Rain, and replaced the original character. And it's seamless, if you ask me. So now, with thanks to, of course, Uncle Mozilla for the thumbnail, and for Liv for just touching up our Mr. Rain to make the perfect thumbnail. Combination of the two. And Liv has also put a little Demo face badge on his lapel, if you've noticed too. Oh, made me smile. Made me smile. But anyway, we'll see who's smiling after we've finished our term, eh? Probably not our citizens. Oh, dearie me. Right. Start of the stream is going to be a history lesson, or a knowledge lesson, I suppose, because I'm going to take you through a couple of these countries, I think, to start with. We'll read up on a couple of the countries, and we'll also do a couple of other little bits. But basically, before the session started, I thought, right, do some prep work here. I've lost my notes from the last session. I have no clue where my notes went. I've looked on my computer high and dry, can't find them. Oh. Hang on. This is going to have to happen, because I have a sneaking suspicion. That I have maybe done them on Google Docs. Ah, I found them. They're on Google Docs. I was looking on my computer because I thought I did them on a WordPad. I did them on Google Docs. Right, it's fine. I'll know for next session. Right, there's a slight faux pas on my part. Couldn't for the life of me remember I'd stored them. And it's just come to me as I was talking out loud. Right, anyway, so what we'll start with is the local area that I've done some reading on. Give you the flavour of the areas, because, hey, this is our country. Shouldn't we know a little bit about it? I have to get a certain woman I've met to watch this playthrough. Tell her I'll give her a shout out if she joins you. How about that? Mr. Cupid here, Mr. Matchmaker. She's a civil lawyer who likes this kind of stuff. Oh, well, clearly she don't want to be anywhere near me then, because I'm going to make politics look horrendously absurd. Or maybe she could just watch us what not to do in these circumstances, perhaps. Anyway, right, so we have 3 areas that I've looked at off camera very quickly. I try and be better, I know I do. I try and be very best. Hey, a lot of you guys get involved in decision making around here, so some of you should take the blame too, you know? It's not all my fault. But anyway, we have the Grunin area. We have 4 cities/towns in this area. I think we've read a couple of these already, but Benfi. Benfi is the tourism place. Tourism here is rife. Okay, beach holidays. We've got beachy, summery stuff in the summer, of course. And in the winter, when it gets a bit colder, you've got more theatre plays, workshops, cultural art festivals, all very touristy. That's our lovely little seaside town. Also, it's a port as well, so some port stuff. Boring? Not so boring if you like your wine, apparently. So, Boring is a small city. It's surrounded by hills and cliffs. Great scenery, people here friendly, talkative and social, and basically it's famous for its wine trade. The Boring wine, very famous, apparently. Want some wine? Get yourself to Boring, folks. Leirin, quite a sleepy place, apparently. Yeah, Sleepyville. Healing herbs are here. No stress. People aren't concerned. It's a slow place. It's a place you come to retire, apparently, maybe. And then you've got Valgan, which is the regional capital. And there's a dam here, the Valgan Dam. Important source of hydroelectricity, providing power to the surrounding regions. This is one of the most important cities of the East. It's got rich multicultural history, and it's got very fertile ground for fruit agriculture, particularly citrus fruits, apparently. Yeah, it says primary citrus producer. If you like your oranges, lovely jubbly. It's close to the border of Lesbia, so you've got quite a lot of multicultural stuff going on down here. But that's it. But it's fertile land, and it's got quite an important structure there in the hydro dam. So that's your little makeup of Grooney. Generally speaking, I believe Grooney is barely maintaining growth. Not quite as bad as some of the other places, but it's barely ticking over at the moment. Barely ticking over, but it's just about surviving. Then we come to Lauren, which is a bit of an area that's heavily forested. So it's got a lumber kind of economy going on, and it's also got some coal and some mining going on there too. So you've got Vesord, which is quite close to a famous landmark, which we'll get to. But basically this is quite a slow-paced place as well. Lots of camping, fishing, jogging, festivals in the forest, you know, make that of that what you will. You know, peace, quiet, nature, survival lessons, all very countryside-y. The Maradoon, that's it, the Maradoon Mountains, or whatever they're called. The Maradoon Rock is right close here. The Rock of Maradoon, it says it there, the Rock of Maradoon. You can just see it, just behind the little rotating icon there. Morbel is a desolate place, basically. It is literally a place that is, what did they say it was? A forgotten city, devoid of hope. Yeah? Lots of pollution, deforestation, environmental damage has all occurred here. Pollution killed hundreds of residents, not wildlife, residents. Huge uproar, and basically gave rise to the Nature Preservation Fund. So basically, yeah, it's a bit of a wreck is Morbel. And then you've got the root of all evil, if you're a nature person, Morna, the capital of the region, currently struggling for job openings, but we've got quite a industrial area here. We've got forestry, big companies here. There's also some coal mining, I'm sure, here somewhere. I might say it's somewhere down here. But basically, yeah, this place is causing a lot of pollution, damage to nature in the area. Nature Preservation Fund not very happy with that. Strikes are going on routinely, protests against the bigger corporations, usual kind of thing. But yeah, still quite a heavy wildlife area. So you've got a bit of a conundrum in there. Wildlife with kind of industry. That old chestnut. So that's your Lauren area. And then finally we have the main Greater Holsword area, which is the capital region. So clearly lots of kind of money's been pumped into this place. So there's lots of kind of metropolitan kind of things going on. But we've got, so that's in the main town as well, mainly. But we've got Conriat, which is kind of an area on the coast there. Scenic boat tours. You know, there's also vibrant wilderness here too. It is a port city, but it can only dock 2 container ships due to the lack of investment. The common theme we're hearing here. But on the flip side, a huge naval base. Very naval kind of place. There's also fancy houses, and they breed Sarod horses. Purebred national and international racehorses, apparently, raised and trained here by farms owned by privileged country clubs. So there's a bit of wealth in this area, in Conriat Bay. Conriat Bay, what a lovely name. You've got Jen, which is a very nationalist population. It is the kind of the headquarters of the Nationalist Front Party. It's recently earned a reputation as a haven for those with more extreme views who struggle to find acceptance in other parts of the country. So if you've got extreme views, come to Jen. You'll be in good company. But it's not very good for agriculture, despite the river nearby. So quite a nationalist, extremist kind of little town, city. You've got Earleroy, which apparently is the former capital of the area of Swordland. The former capital. But this place has been repeatedly sacked, so a lot of those old school buildings may well have been destroyed. Although extensive restorations have taken place. Now this place is the epicenter of alcohol production. Mark it on your maps. Mark it on your maps. Because it's got wine to rival that of the Boring wine, the Earleroy wine, but also it's got the Earleroy Maroon, which is whiskey. So it's also famed for its whiskey production as well as wine. So, you know, boring, just wine people, are you? Well, we do wine and whiskey actually here. But yeah. That's your former capital. Some little tidbits there. And Anrica, which is the second largest city in this little region, behind the capital, of course. It is the birthplace of Swordish nationalism. They had a great fire here. Is this the right place where there was a fire or not? No, this isn't the right place. There was a fire somewhere. Anyway, I might have skipped over one of that. But we had the fire of the revolution. Burned here. Unless I misread that earlier and took that as to be a literal fire. Maybe I did. I'm sure there was a fire in one of the cities. Anyway, basically, because this place wasn't sacked and destroyed, like, say, Earleroy, a lot of the original architecture still stands here. And lots of people come to enjoy the mead, the sausage roll. Who doesn't love a good sausage roll? They listen to the Anrican band playing the traditional music on the Obval. There was a fire at the university. Okay, cool. Was that on here? I know there was a fire somewhere. I've definitely read that somewhere. So yeah, the city never faced destruction, which makes it one of the few places where people can observe examples of the Marcian era. Structures like the Hall of Warriors or the Temple of Martyrs still stand. We've got a highway and a railway passing through, although a bit antiquated right now. They've also got loads of logistical companies because of its kind of position between kind of the major cities of the country. You've got kind of like Holsword there, you've got Deer there, and you've got Lashaven. So you've got a triple kind of whammy. So you've got the railway line going to all three of those regions. So this is kind of the epicenter of that. So a lot of people have kind of gone in there and utilised the strategic positioning of the area for their economic gains, shall we say. But at the moment, struggling because the railway's a bit old-fashioned. So there you go. There's your little whistle-stop tour of the eastern fringes of our country. And in the next session, I'll finish off with the other 4 areas, if we don't take a tour of those in this particular stream. Now, what we're going to also do before I start the time rolling and start advancing is we're going to pick a couple of countries to read about and to see who their leader is. So, any preferences, I'll let you guys pick. We are here. We have Agnolia, who are quite friendly. We've got Valsland, bit neutral. We've got Rumberg, dangerous. We've got Wayland to the south, Derdeer, Mirella, Rhesia, Lesbia, Pales, and we've got Cairo, who are also friendly. So the two friendly ones, and then we've got a load of neutrality to the south, but they want to be open to trade, it sounds like, from what we've heard from the news. And then we've got Rumberg. Who was it, the guy who congratulated you a day late? Was it Rhesia? I think it might have been Rhesia, yes. Should we read up on Rhesia? Considering that Rhesia is also going to be the subject of the DLC that comes out soon, maybe we should check that out. So I think we'll do three countries. We'll do Rhesia. We've got to do Rumberg, and we'll do Agnolia, because Agnolia is our border to the north, and they're friendly. So we'll do those three, and then in the next sessions, I'll give you more tidbits of information about the countries. So we'll see. But yes, Liv, now that you have arrived, yes, a big thank you for the thumbnail, because, you know, fantastic work indeed. You know, captured our Mr. Anton Rain very well, if I do say. Right, so we'll start with the negatives, which is the Kingdom of Rumberg. As much as rum is in the title, apparently that's not a good thing. So let's have a look at this country. So it's unfriendly. It's got a massive military. It's fourth in the world in terms of its GDP. The leader is currently Queen Beatrice. We'll read about her. It's a constitutional monarchy. And the official language is Rumian. What a nice name. Okay, so I wish we could reposition these tiles. But anyway. Kingdom of Rumberg. It's a lot of reading, so I'll probably skim some of this. Okay. So basically, Rumberg is a constitutional monarchy. Northern Macopa. Thornborough. We don't need to know any of this crap. Monarch Queen Beatrice. Okay. It is the largest country on the Mercapan continent by size, spanning the entire north from west to east. It is the founding member of the Guild of Royal Allies for Commercial Exchange. Okay. We'll probably read about those in due course. Rumberg initially emerged as a March of the Rums around the 7th century, and later with the migration developed into a heartland for the Kingdom of the Rums. In 1599, Rumberg broke away from the Markian Empire and established its own kingdom. Transformed into a constitutional monarchy in the 19th century. Very good. Rose to prominence as a major power around this time. It colonised and rapidly industrialised a massive area of steppe, tundra and ice in the far north. After getting involved in and losing several wars in the previous century, Rumberg went through a period of rapid industrialisation through collectivisation and forced labour, particularly investing in military technology. So the industry rose to rival Arcasia. Now, I have been informed by somebody on the Discord server that Arcasia is supposed to equate to America. Really? Kind of, on that kind of level, I suppose. And a rapid economic development resulted in some improvement in the standard of living. After suffering extensively during the 15-day war against Swordland, the country also developed the world's first automatic rifle. Not the AK-47, but the KA-74. I see what you've done there, game. Very clever. Which became the most popular weapon of the continent in the 20th century. They'll never figure it out. No trade descriptions here. Right. In 1921, Beatrice Livingston, the current queen, acceded to the throne upon the death of King Alfred II. The queen's rule started with the controversial annexation of Dome, and expanded Rumberg's borders further south, starting what Queen Livingston calls the Great Unification, which seeks to take back old lost territories and unify ethnic Rums under the kingdom. Following the Socialist Revolution in Valsland, the Queen cancelled her father's plans to form an Eastern Mercopan pact with Valsland and instead started warming up to Arcasia by establishing important trade deals. And despite the government's claims, the country is believed to have been heavily involved in both the Wayland Civil War and the Swordish Civil War. It's got a strong economy. below average civil rights, very few political freedoms, very rapid tech development, experimental weapons. It's got enormous amounts of raw materials to fuel their massive military industry. It is a member of OMEC, Grace, and of the Alliance of Nations. So quite a major power, bordering on us with our little weak military. Hopefully, diplomacy will be the key. So this is Queen Beatrice. Now, she is an interesting character. Self-proclaimed ruler of all of Northern Macopa. She became queen at 16. The most notable action was the invasion of Northern Agnolia and the annexation of Dome, which was executed by the Rumburgian army in a single night. No messing around. She was condemned internationally and was expected to pay reparations, which she rejected to do. Pay reparations? Get out of town, she says. Get out of town. Rumburg did not face any major repercussions for the annexation, and the calls for reparations fell flat. One of the largest military and political victories to this day of Rumburg. Right, okay. She's also gained infamy for selling weapons to both the attackers and defenders during the Civil War of Wayland. She also received numerous international criticisms for pursuing expansionist policies and was blamed by Arcasia and United Pontana for playing both sides. She's occasionally faced Republican sentiments and criticism of the royal family, and particularly after her reforms which centralised the power in the kingdom, decreasing the authority of the Parliament of Rumburg. So, basically, football's supposed to be on tomorrow for a change, but that's a minor miracle. Basically, she is a bit of a game player, isn't she? She's a bit of a game player. She likes a bit of expansion. She clearly likes to play people off against each other. Likes to port, get the money in. And she's a law unto herself. Well, that is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Anyway, that is her. Agnolia. Friendly. With a weak military. We are trading their Agnolian steel for cheaper than market value. So that's pretty cool. There's quite a lot to read here. You know what? I won't read that this turn because we've got a lot more reading to do. Okay, so we won't read that. We read that later in the stream if we get a bit of downtime, because I can feel my throat already. It's not sore, but my voice is already starting to croak. And we've got 18 news articles to read. So we'll read the news articles that I forgot to read in the last session, and then we'll crack on with what's going on in Holsword. Okay. Now all of these we seem to have already read because they're in grey, so we won't bother with these. So the Swordland Today paper. This is where we start. I don't know if we start from the top or work our way down, but we'll go from the bottom and work our way up. How about that? So the economy meeting was held. We remember that. I think we did very well there. I seem to recall. I think we were fine. Planned behind closed doors, because why would we plan them in an open forum? Let's be honest. Come on in, everybody. Come and see how we run this country. You'll all be horrified. Okay, the statement's been released regarding short-term economic plans, which included the promotion of the planned economy, which might not go down too well with a lot of people. But hey, we are an economist, so we feel that we are in a good position to steer the country. My plan really is to drip feed away from the old policies, but we've got to do it in a controlled manner. So keeping some of them while changing some is the plan. I don't know if the game will cooperate. I don't know how well this will work. We'll see. We'll see. We're starting with changing the constitution. I mean, that in itself is a major, should be seen as a good thing, surely. Who is he? Oh, privately owned Swordish Energy Company. Oh, very good. So Gotham is set to bolster our infrastructure and support ongoing development efforts. Oh, it's an advertisement. Very good. Okay. Suspicious fire ravaged HSU. This is a university? Oh, this was where the fire came in. It was last session, of course. Damage to equipment and documents. 5 wounded are taken care of but in stable condition. Okay, investigations ongoing. Yeah, we've lost potentially some original copies of the academic papers, although we were told, I'm sure, that these are backed up somewhere else. Hopefully. Anyway, let's carry on. Conrath Caronti passes away. We saw this in last session. And his son, who we are meeting at his own little private pad, very soon, remember, is now in charge. Marcel, of course. Interesting development. Right. The Economist's Times. Who's this guy? Sure, we've read about him as well. Another businessman. So he's announced his departure from the exclusive Lotharbert group. And what's this? A new prototype for the first pocket radio was displayed by the Arcasian electronics company Armadine Industries. Pocket radio. President of Arcadia, Dwight Walker. Okay, this is pretty cool. We've not heard anything about this guy before. Right, okay. So Dwight Walker, Arcasian politician, President of the Republic of Arcadia. Probably a very important man. The Walker Plan. Oh, born in an affluent Rummish family. Interesting. Hailed as one of the most popular presidents in Arcasian history. The Arcasian Dream. Interesting. Okay. Mr. Walker. Very good. We have now pocket radios. A previous president. Oh, is that the fella? Ah. An important man then. where did we see that? It was this one, wasn't it? He was the 3rd president. Oh! Alphonsonomics! It's this idiot who we're picking up the pieces from. Yeah, that's the fella. It rings a bell now. Clearly we're waking up after a session on the rum. Session on that maroon whiskey. Right. What's this? Where have we left off in here? Support in Assembly grows for campaign finance bill. Okay. The Swedish National League. Football. Ooh. FC Gelsord, last season's champions, returned with a core of experienced veterans, including star striker Hakon Brenner, who holds the top scorer title of the league since 1952. Meanwhile, FC Enrica managed to add several new players to the lineup. Wonder who we would support. I don't know. We're a Le person. Have they got a football team anywhere near there? The Swedish National League is slowly cementing itself as a force in the world of football. Freezing temperatures. Warning of frostbite has been issued. And schools schools are closed. Oh, so we saw about this, the fact that was struggling for jobs. I think it was over in the Morna region, right? Yeah, decreasing job options. Okay, Radical. Glamorous inaugural ball. The whole sword elite gathers for a lavish state ball. We demand these traditions of a wasteful nature will become a thing of the past once the president... We ain't. Look, we're open to many changes, right? But we are not getting rid of a ball, all right? No siree. This ball is staying. Alfonso ditches Lotharberg, a sign of discord, right? They want to put him. Severed ties with the Lotharberg group. Okay, so we've read that in the other paper. Alfonso's political failures, including a devastating loss to President Anton Reign, cast a long shadow over this move. Right. Nationalist violence. A man in his 20s has been beaten with baseball bats in a paramilitary-style attack in Arvery. The man claims to have been attacked because of his ethnic background as an Agno-Swardish citizen. He was approached during a walk at the park by a group of right-wing extremists who were suspected of being regulars at the local National Front Party office. The group inflicted injuries to his legs and arms. A brutal attack, unjustified. There is no place for such attacks in our society, said the mayor of Arvery. Called for unity. What is that? Okay, so that's a bloody protest. High-ranking government officials involved in the incident, some of which are in a powerful position to this day. Maybe even the Chief Justice, who was an old guard leader, the leader of the old guard, in fact. Oh, our paper won't be disclosing the details due to potential safety reasons. Yes, maybe you should remain stum, eh? But maybe you shouldn't. Out them. I need to deal with these people. Right, Geopolitico. Rumberg coming south. I think we read this one before. Basically, we're a bit worried. Okay, what's this? Rhesia, Kingdom of, lays claim to offshore gas fields. Prices fluctuate in Macopa. So they've laid claim to the newly discovered offshore gas field near the Grand Duchy of Pales, putting immense pressure on the small nation. This move has caused energy gas prices to fluctuate significantly across the continent. And they're now disputing the ownership of this place, I assume. Rhezia's claim to the gas fields is based on historical records and and/or maritime boundary agreements that date back decades. The Grand Duchy of Pales, however, contests these claims, stating that their own records and agreements provide them with the rights to exploit. Oh, no, my records are more accurate. No, my records are the truth. These records I've just drafted up now and made them look professional. Okay, so there's a bit of trouble with some of the energy here. Swordland's regional trade. What will the regional international trade policy be? Due to the strategic geopolitical location of Swordland, historically, Agnolia and Valen have been natural trading partners. Depending on the direction of the Reign administration, we think it is likely that a new trade deal will be brokered with at least one of these partners in the near term. Regional trade will boost the ailing economy, whichever way we decide to go. Real question is, what do Valsland or Lesbia think about Swordland? Who gives a flying cahoot? Right. Ideological dispute between Garmland and Valsland. Hey, Valsland have got their finger in a few pies here. Okay, so there's been trade tariffs imposed, further straining relations, impacting regional economies. So this is Valsland and Garmland. Oh, Garmland. Where in the flipping flip is Garmland when it's at home? I've never seen a Garmland anywhere near here. Have you? Maybe Garmland is a different place, miles away from this map. Oh no, Garmland is right there. We can't interact with it, so... But, yeah, right next door, in fact. Okay. Okay, so there is your news. Have I missed anything? And should we press onwards? Ollie, have a good night. I may have already missed you. But have a good one, sir. So, without further ado, we're ready to press on. We have summarised, we have theorised, we have law-ised. It is time to start making decisions. Are we ready? Are you sat comfy? Let's crack on. So we've got two options, Whole Sword or Le Shaven. Well, we are here, so we shall start here. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here. What are these buttons? Campaign Finance Bill. We'll leave that till last. That looks quite important. Sid joins HSU fire investigation. Yes, the fire investigation needs to be looked into. Let's take a look at what's going on there with fire. Cue. Okay, so the Swordish Intelligence Directorate are expanding the investigation, as it should do. We cannot let that slip. Find the culprit. The party committee report. Okay, we haven't heard this now. So this is the Reform Committee. Remember, this committee has been set up now. Reports that any potential change to the Constitution in the direction of the reformists will likely result in strong opposition from the National Front. Not a surprise. The members of Assembly in support of such direction seem to be in great numbers and possibly make up the majority in the Grand National Assembly, while most members of the United Swordsman Party seem reluctant about supporting such changes. So some of our own party's wings not happy. Obviously the party of the people, the Piff Chip people, all happy with it, probably 100% happiness. Some of our party probably happy, some not. National Front certainly not. That's where I'm assuming, what we're looking at right here. And so we're going to need, don't forget this is a constitutional change, so we need those special figures, don't we, to happen. 150 signatures, 2/3 vote, majority in the Supreme Court. It's a tough one. Right, let's read the reports from here. Okay, so this is do you know what? This is our hometown. No, it wasn't. Dare was our hometown. Am I getting confused? Which one? Dare was our hometown. Sorry. Let's leave that behind then, shall we? The Shaven. You can stay there for a second. Right, what's this? Campaign Finance Bill. Okay, what is this? Section 1. Is this the bill? This is not a bill. I don't know. What bill is this? Oh, we have a veto at the moment. But our veto will be going when this constitution passes. So let's make use of our veto while we can. Okay, so what is this bill? Electoral Campaign Finance Bill. Guys, advisors, so pay heed here. Section 1 of this bill stipulates a significant change in the methodology of public funds allocation to political parties. The new measure replaces the previous system, based on the number of votes won in the general election, with the system reliant on the proportion of seats secured by a political party in the Assembly. I might need somebody to explain the implications of this to me. You know, like an advisory position. What does this mean in plain English? So basically it's on number of seats rather than number of votes. But don't forget that not all seats are occupied by the voting electorate, because if it's less than 10%, they don't get a seat. So that will alienate, surely, some of the smaller parties. Votes, yeah, but isn't there? What's the implication? So, Marshall Eyes, you are the man for this, for the advisory role, as the Discord proved with your great pearls of wisdom. So, I'll read on. Let me just read it on first. Section 2 sets the annual financial allocation to political parties at 500,000 per each member of assembly. This shift ensures that financial support from public funds aligns more closely with a party's representative influence within the legislative body. Section 3, a consequential effect of these amendments will effectively lead to a substantial increase in the electoral budget for the USP and a minor augmentation for other parties present in the Assembly. The restructuring of funds fosters a more proportional representation of party presence within the Assembly. Section 4 highlights an important consequence of this reallocation. Parties that do not meet the 10% election threshold will see their public funding curtailed. This seems like bad. This seems bad to me. I mean, I'm trying to get my head around it. So we will get a massive boost, right? Because we've got a massive party presence. But that's almost like the principle of the rich getting richer. You've got more seats, so you get more campaign funds, so you're more likely to put that to good use and get re-elected again because you've got far more money to throw at a campaign than the people that aren't getting any. That's what it sounds like to me. I think this is bad. If we're going for constitutional change and trying to make things more democratic here, I think basing it on total number of votes is more representative, perhaps, of the demographics of the voting electorate. That's my thoughts anyway. Am I missing a trick here or not? I think I'm going to veto it, even though it's going to help us. It may seem I'm alienating myself from my own party, is what we're gathering from this playthrough right now. But I think we need to enact change and fairness and democracy, and therefore, although we need to get stuff done, and if we're creating problems for ourselves, how likely is it that we're going to get stuff done when people don't want to help us out? But we'll see. We'll see. This is why I'm not a politician, because all of this is too complex, too complicated. Some office politics can be not too dissimilar from this kind of stuff. I'm telling you now. Right, unless anybody is going to tell me otherwise, I think this is not good for democracy in general. 10% of the, people that don't get a seat on the parties that have people voting for them but don't get a seat. See you, pal. Your funds curtailed. See you later. Don't think that's good. So I think we're going to veto this one. We're going to veto it. I'm going to click it. Now, I think something to consider. Oh, you're going to throw a spanner in the works, Robert? Okay, I'm going to click it. I don't know how vetoing works, so it'd be interesting to see. I mean, we're going to lose this power soon anyway, if the bill passes, but whilst I still have it, I think it is good to use it for things that I don't think are going to be in the best interests of our future. So, veto, thank you very much. That's caused a bit of a rift, apparently. News ping has cropped right up straight away. President vetoes bill. Because this bill clearly was passed or was motioned before I came into power, I'm putting a kibosh on it straight away. Bush, bish, bang, veto, no. I'm vetoing this. We haven't made any choices that benefit, such as not working with media, not wanting help from other parties, not wanting to work with the military. I haven't said anything about not wanting to work with the military. I thought we had arranged a meeting to hear out the military's arguments. I didn't say no, we're not going to help them, did I? I seem to remember. And we allowed the media to continue with their free speech. And we're meeting Mr. Person. Although that's not military, that's something different. Media, sorry. Yeah. No, it's being vetoed. It's hard to democratise if you get kicked out before you can do so. Well, if I get kicked out, I can be... I can hold my head high that I stuck to my principles. Stuck to my scruples. This is why, and this game will perfectly demonstrate why I will never, ever enter politics. I'm telling you, I have felt it from the start of this game that this is going to be one of those games that I just don't see the ending. Because I will be assassinated or ousted or something will happen before we get to the end. And I'm still adamant that will be the case. Anyway, we have vetoed it after its approval from the Grand National Assembly by majority vote. Yeah, because most of the people are our party. That's bloody why. Following a 3-hour debate, we're like, yeah, you've debated for 3 hours, you've passed it. I am saying no, actually. Franz Richter, who is the swordish piff-jib person, who also objected to the funding package, too much unfairness in the allocation of the budget, also sought to delay proceedings by demanding a formal recorded vote, but was overruled. The bill passed the Assembly, but failed to become law by President Rain's decision. So, Mr. Piff-jib man, that's quite cool. So we helped the Piff-jib last time, or we said that we might want to reach out to them now, where they're happy probably with this decision. You know, maybe we are in charge of the wrong team. Maybe we need to become leader of the Piff-jibs. Oust this Mr. Richter, make him my vice president, and start again. Maybe not, I don't know. Radical, unfair campaign finance bill crushed. A new bill that further expands on the unfairness of our election system has been approved by the Grand National Assembly and was later vetoed by President Rain. Rain deserves credit for crushing the undemocratic proposal, even though it came from his own party and would have benefited himself. Already. 14 endings. Oh wow, cool. Whichever one is the most catastrophic, put me down for that one. So this is yeah. They don't like this bill because these are the radical people. So the bill sought to change the rules of eligibility of the public funds that are reserved for every political party. It eliminates every party from eligibility to the funds apart from the 3 that are currently in the Assembly. This insane proposal would have also resulted in the governing United Solar Party share to double. Luckily, President Rain showed us that he can go against his own party when it needs to be done. Look, you lead from the front. You can't shy away from decision making. Right? I'm in charge. I've made this decision. Put up or shut up, right? That's what it's got to be. Sometimes I'm the man that's the face of the country, let alone the party. So it has to be. It has to be. By hook or crook, it has to be. So the fallout from that could well be massive. We'll see. Already the knives are out in the canteen. Invest in mega infrastructure. A decision to invest in one of 2 planned mega infrastructure projects. Now, could these be the projects that we heard about in the meeting? That they were debating about? And they said, oh, we'll get to this later. Well, okay. The Ministry of Economy has put forward 2 bold plans for mega infrastructure projects that would help with the economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale will take up some portion of our budget, but could prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. Long-term investment. Mega infrastructure project. It's a bit vague, isn't it? Mega infrastructure project. But apparently it's going to help with the recession, and I'm the man that's taking control of the economy. Now, it seems like a no-brainer. The railways are falling to bits. You know, investment in this country, shot to shit, shot to the proverbial. You know, we've got to start somewhere. And we're the man with the economics. So we have taken a planned approach, and my plan is I think we need to start investing in mega infrastructure projects. We've got a bit of government budget left, and we'll get some government budget from things as well, you know, bribes that will eventually succumb to perhaps. How much will it balloon? It's an interesting point. But you kind of, when you're in for a penny, in for a pound, you're in it. Now, the two options were investing in the already developed cities and make them even more glamorous or whatever. And the other, I seem to recall, was investing in the rural areas. Now, as a rural man, son of a farmer, no, you keep chucking those counterpoints. Everything is worth consideration. This is what you're all here for, to help me, because I'm not politicky. I'm the man that presses the red button. That's it. I listen to your advice, I listen to your advice, and then I think, right, I don't like your advice, but I like your advice, I press the button. That's all I'm doing. So, having heard all of your advices, I'm pressing the button. I'm pressing the button. Bing! Stat decreased. In a positive manner. Discussion of the potential infrastructure projects in the Blue Mansion. So I've got into my little car. I've been taxied down to the Blue Mansion by my personal bodyguard, Sergey. I've forgotten his name. Is it Sergey? Something like that. Drove me down, probably. I arrive at the Blue Mansion, people waving still. I'm still riding the crest of the wave of my inauguration here. I'm going to the Blue Mansion today to conduct important business that's going to upturn our economic fortunes. Thank you. Thank you. And in we go. Okay. The view towards the Marchian Sea was nothing short of exquisite. The seaside state residence fittingly named the Blue Mansion. Large, fine, and accommodating. But enjoying the luxurious mansion wasn't the main reason of our visit. We gathered the economic team here to discuss the new infrastructure investment project. Now, have we looked at all of these people's biographies yet? Because this is clearly my economic team, so I kind of think we better get to know them a bit better. I don't think we have. So we'll look at them now. So this is Simon Hall. Or Hull. Politician and businessman who serves as the Minister of Economy. So he is literally the Minister of Economy. Should really heed his advice, I suppose. Commerce and Energy. He's a member of the United Swordland Party, co-chairman of the National Business Council. Quite important. As a former chairman of the Central Bank of Swordland as well, Jesus. He is known to possess great influence over the economy. That was until we arrived. And is regarded as one of the top experts on Swordland's financial matters. He was a big supporter of the free market reforms of Alfonso, but criticised his other policies and blamed the recession on his rushed handling of the reform. So he's towards a kind of a staggered heading towards the free market reform, which actually is what I would be kind of looking at, you know, a staggered approach rather than it being all rushed. Hence why we're doing it in bits. He's often famed for his promotion of free market economy, his analyses of the economic boom in Arcasia, because obviously Arcasia, way in the west, big free market, their fortunes have whoosh. So he's thinking, let's follow suit. He's wrote several books and articles on the economic inequality in the Markian region, which earned him praise from economists both in Sweden and abroad. Simon gave his support to Anton Reign after the recession and campaigned with him throughout the whole election process. Okay, so, you know, very wise when it comes to economics, this man. So maybe we'll heed his advice, maybe we won't. So we've got Gus Manger. This is the rural man, no wonder. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. Served under the previous government. And he's the only one who's retained a position from that administration. Barney Valgan. In the Gruny region, also come from a farming background, so we've probably got a bit of a rapport going on with this guy. I work with OMEC to develop local agricultural, logistical and energy companies. Okay, worked with Gasom, attracting top engineering talent. After helping his home region find foreign direct investment, he diversified his investments. Gus saw great potential in Anrica as a middle ground between the most prominent cities. Made investments there, running logistics and tourism. He's also got a minority ownership in FC Anrica, the city's football club. Oh my god, we've got actually a codex for FC Anrica. The People's Club. Huh. One of the only two teams to have taken the league title. Oh my god. So he's got a bit of a football ownership going on. He's a Deputy Minister of Economy, Commerce and Energy. Or was in Sol's cabinet. And they changed in the Alfonso to development. He's been successful in helping rural poverty reduction. Crucial in arranging landmark trade deals with Riesi, Lesbia and Anrica. So, a very important man as well. So, when it comes to an economic team, quite a good team. Quite a good team. Infrastructure projects help because in a recession unemployment is high, less spending money, businesses fail, more unemployment, so the government commission. It's like a vicious circle, isn't it? And this is Lilius Graf, Minister of Interior of Swordland. A Staff Sergeant, wow. Mayor of Avery, Mayor of Holsword. So she was pricked by Tarquin Sol. Her policies on urban planning and public education transformed Holsword's economy and boosted her popularity in the capital. She's one of the central figures. She's credited for the economic booms in both Arvery and Holsword and known for supporting socially conservative politics throughout her career. She is respected as an expert on urban development and police relations. Brought large conservative support in the elections soon after she left her position as a... Ooh, we might be taking her off at some point. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a tidbit of information from all of these guys. And girls, of course. Interesting. But I'm not pandering. So having just recalled in my mind's eye about these people in a split second, half an hour had already passed since the start of the meeting. Unfortunately, I did not even have the chance to have my usual afternoon coffee. And You know how edgy I get if I don't have my afternoon coffee. My mind drifted, looking out into the view, chewing the fat in my head, thinking about things. And then Simon brought me back to reality. Mr. President, we need to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways to achieve that is through infrastructure projects. As an economist, I would agree with that sentiment. I agree. That's why I am happy to be discussing this right today. On the one hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail network between Horsord and Leshaven. Lilia started talking as soon as Simon took a breath. On the other hand, citizens are criticising the lack of a proper highway connection between Leshaven and Arvery. The narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous, but also difficult to traverse. I don't think investing in narrow roads by the seaside are quite as important between a logistical rail network, if we were looking at priorities, I feel. We need to pick the most profitable option for economic growth. The citizens and their demands matter the most. Need to heed the calls of our business. Well, to be honest with you, looking at the two options, we've got businessmen complaining about slow logistical rail network. And she was the mayor of Arvery. Could boost tourism. Could be some bias. Okay, well, seeing as I don't have a strong opinion on either option, on this particular thing, I just want to know, in all of your opinions, what is the most profitable? Simple as that. Because with profits come our ability to, spread those profits in due course. So we are in a recession, we need to turn this around. Which is obviously connecting our two most economically powerful cities, says Gus, looking probably pretty smug with himself right now. It is not business people who are suffering now, but ordinary folk. And that kind of, hang on, ordinary folk, people from, this is not farmy people, but this is ordinary people, and we did say that we were going to be a man of the people, did we not? What really matters is that your first economic act accomplishes something tangible. This is the bottom line. This is the bottom line. We must improve the economy and bring it out of a recession. That is why we are taking control of, the economy around here in a planned manner, and that planning needs to be very, very, effective. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. London to Manchester or York to Manchester? Clearly, London to Manchester, it would be a better investment. York to Manchester? It's just like the UK, this. Levelling up? No chance. If you're from the outreaches, we don't care. If you are a major route, yes, we'll do it. Okay, we must improve the economy and bring out a recession. To that point, I defined two important projects for your attention. The H3 highway project and the L1 high-speed railway project. Oh, that sounds familiar. High-speed railway, you say? Highway or high-speed railway? Mr. Hall repositioned himself on his chair. The Ministry can only support one project at a time with our current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. Which one do you want to hear about first? Let's go with the high-speed rail project. Your predecessor, Alfonso, failed to deliver on this campaign promise, but now we have the opportunity to start the construction of a groundbreaking railway project. Sounds very pricey. As you know, our current trains cannot meet the standards of today. As many other countries adopt new electric engine technology to power up their trains, we're falling behind. This is now Gus. News about the new electric trains in United Contana has piqued our business's interest. They too want to transport resources and material from Holsall to Leshaven with great speed and efficiency. Electric trains, you say? Okay. The superpowers have led the way with their high-quality technology. We've got to keep up. This could also empower businesses and bring investments. The major cities of Swordland need more infrastructure to support their growing population. Okay, yeah, explain further. Yeah, the more information we can gather first, the better. Our plan is to upgrade the old L1 line from Holsall to Leshaven. It will transform into a high-speed railway. Look at the map. Yeah, I'm just pointing and drawing lines on maps. The planned construction starts right here at the capital. From there it will go to Anrica first, which is that central tourist hub. I'm thinking more like farm areas, but I mean seaside towns are quite rural, aren't they, I suppose? Yeah. Anrica, and then to Gelsord, after which it would reach Leshaven, our economic powerhouse. He leans forward. The L1 will significantly boost the economies of the newly linked cities and even the rural areas in between. So some rural areas are going to get a boost. Not all, but some. Leshaven is our primary port, so the goods unloaded there will be transported to Holsall much faster. Investing in regions that are already developed makes little sense. That is one argument. Linking rural areas in the middle with the major cities is a good start, I think. Hang fire, I'll be back. Okay, so I think this is quite a swayer for us. The fact that yes, we are connecting powerhouses, cities already, but you know, the rural areas in between will also benefit. I think that's kind of swayed it a little bit, maybe. We are talking about the wealthiest regions and forgetting about Angland, which needs the investment far more. The Mayor of Anrica, Curtin Lest, also requested this project to be prioritised. Businessmen in the region will be very content, which in turn will increase investments and employment. Therefore, I will recommend the L1 high-speed rail project. So both Gus and Simon are on board here. Lilius still, yeah, but let's hear about the highway project first. Let's not be rushing into decision making. Let's listen to all sides. The H3 project aims to improve the abysmal state of the road network in the Angland region bordering Agnolia. Now, the Angland region is here, and the Angland region currently is suffering with something. Poverty, lack of healthcare. Any of that going to be helped by this rail project? Logistical issues. This is just absolute lack of a road network. It's quite screwed, isn't it? We've got forests here. Trade with Agnolia is its main economy, and fishing. High unemployment rates, economic hardship. It's one of the more economically challenged regions in Swordland. We've got bays, we've got fjords, cliff lines. Interesting. So we've got, this is a really, really deprived area, apparently. Right, okay. Where are we? Yeah, we currently feel neglected. No proper highway connections to and from Angland. The Mayor of Arvery, Eric Neal, has been asking for a bigger budget to develop regional infrastructure. He told us that even trucks are having a hard time travelling through the main roads. The increased traffic is causing trouble for people commuting in and out of the region. So we've got a land which is quite bustling, quite busy. Well, I say bustling. A non-deprived region, which could be even more of a powerhouse area with the train line, or we've got a highly neglected region. Roads are knackered, it's hampering trade, people feeling neglected, trucks can't even travel. I'm suddenly switching my thought process. That must be cumbersome for the citizens. Oh, it is. Bless their souls. I'm happy we're thinking alike on the matter. Let's take a more detailed look at the upgrade proposal. Yes, indeed. Let's get to the nitty-gritty here. Let's have a look at the map. The H3 highway route starts here in Leshaven. And from there it leads to Lenkberg. And then it goes all the way to Arvery. As a result, the road network towards the Agnolian capital, Styleport, will also improve substantially. And she leans forward in her chair. As mayor, I saw the central government continuously neglect our country's Anglo-Swordish-dominated regions. Is this administration going to continue that kind of negligence? And I'm a northern man too, don't forget. The long forgotten north It is a natural phenomenon, this. Not quite as bad as this in the UK, but it's quite clear that the northern cities not quite as invested in. Are we going to follow the same route? Do you know what? Our agno-Swordish citizens should be respected as swords like all of us. I mean, yeah, we should no longer neglect a key region for our trade too. But yeah, citizens that can't even travel on the roads, chaos, carnage, job issues, all is manifested from this poor investment. Yes, there should be no preference or separation among Swordish citizens, meaning we should think about what's best for the country overall. It has to be pointed out that the highway would be less beneficial in the short term. I have to disagree. It will increase the speed of transportation throughout the region. Our citizens will be quite pleased if we successfully accomplish this. Besides, if we enter trade talks with Agnolia, they will see the investment as a positive sign. Okay, apparently we have settled on a decision. Have we? I think we have. The train sounds great. It does. I think, and there were some rural areas in between that will benefit. But as a man from the farms, rural man, and as a real life northerner, some of the outer reaches that are furthest away from the capital often do get neglected. Not under my regime, they don't. Not under my regime. When this was first brought to us in the last conversation we had with these people, we were gonna instantly plump towards the rural side, and now that we've heard all of the spiel, initially we were thinking, well, that supersonic train electric business sounds pretty cool. But when we've got people that can't feed themselves or can't even travel on a road, let's not focus our efforts on making the rich richer. Yeah, number crunching, if only we had that kind of insight. Yeah. We're going to improve our infrastructure in the poorer regions. Pressed it now. Pressed it. Thank God! I knew that you would see reason. The negotiations will begin in the middle of this year. You will be able to award the contract to a corporation of your choice. Oh, here we go. Is this a real thing in this game? You know, I've got shares in this company, therefore you can have the job. Oh, I'm completely neutral, of course. Not a thing. Not a thing. Don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Corrupt. Ugh. Two years. Good. Is there anything else? This should be all, Mr. President. See you soon, Mr. Rain. Oh, Lilius, using name terms here. Oh, see you later. Might be causing Simon and Gus to start looking a bit shady. What do you mean, Mr. Rain? Hang on a second. Why have you got your way all of a sudden? And why are you calling him Mr. Rain? Or what's happening here? No reason. We dismiss them all and we recline back in our chair and continue to observe on a lovely sunset, red sky, clear night, clear day, the beautiful coastline of Lishaven. And then we think to ourselves, more people can enjoy beautiful coastlines in Angland when they can finally drive to them, you know. Makes us feel good. Yes, it does. Another day done. Hey, another day, another whatever our currency's called. What was our currency called again? I can't remember. Okay, highway under construction. Happy days. We've got to invest in Arcadian company stocks. What's that all about? Let's have a wee peek here. Oh, personal wealth. Okay. A personal investment opportunity has been relayed by Mr. Manger. An experienced stockbroker in Ventry City, Arcasia, selling valuable shares of Armadine Industries, an up-and-coming electronics manufacturing company. We could invest or let the opportunity pass. Spend all of our money on a random personal investment opportunity. Now, Arcasia have just had this breakthrough in the paper about radios, right? And, you know, personal radios. I'm going to put basically my entire life savings in an electric manufacturing company. And if this goes horribly wrong, I mean, also, if we start investing in any companies, if it comes to the crunch and these companies ever end up involved in any of our politics, that's when things get a bit muddied waters. So I kind of think to myself, do you know what? We're not going to invest in any companies at all. See you later, Chris. I mean, I don't know how else we're going to make money in this game. Maybe some bribes, possibly. But we're not going to do those either. So we're going to be a very poor president, aren't we? We're not playing this president card very well for personal gain, are we? Clearly not. You know. Not a good idea. So basically we're saying, is the company going to go bust or is the company not going to go bust? Are we going to get some profits out of this? Anyway, it's a company across the pond, so they're not going to get involved in our politics. So it's not local business. That's good. That's good. That's a good point. So we're not going to get kind of, you know, invested interest going on, kind of ulterior motive being accused of. So it's completely neutral. It's my money to do as I wish. So as a president, as a man, would I mean, I'd probably talk to one of my advisors, the guy that wrote the book, that studied Arcadian free markets. Was that Gus? I'll be speaking to him. Gus, what do you recommend, mate? I've just heard on the grapevine that there is some shares in Armadine Industries up for grabs. I'm thinking of investing 1,000 shares. What do you think? And give me it plain. So Gus has given this to me. Oh, has he? Oh, okay. Oh, Mr. Manger, of course it. Oh, I trust Gus 100%. Bloody hell, what am I doing? Gus has written books. All right, Gus knows his stuff. I'm not arguing with Gus's logic here. Gus has brought this to me. Good job you mentioned that. Thank you for saving me time. Because that could have been a catastrophic declining of our future fortune. We are broke right now. Because they called him Mr. Manger, you see. Confused me. Away in a manger. Right, here we go. Reception at the inaugural ball. Hang on. I have to have a bit of chicken and noodle for this. I'm all buttoned up, suited and booted, tuxedoed up. Monica, get the children ready. We are going to the ball, my Cinderella. This is it. So all of this has happened is all of what? Day 1 and 2? All of this stuff for the past, 3 streams. We've already advanced the time a couple of days. Right, I'm taking my slippers off now because this is getting serious. It's the removal of my slipper time. Okay. We're going to have a tiny little bit of flim-flam for a second. And then I'm going to pause the game and just eat a little bit of my food. And then we're going to go to the ball. But before we go to the ball... So, obviously I had my health scare, right? On Friday. I had my final scan on Saturday, but by Saturday I was kind of already happy with the fact that, you know what, I'm going to be fine, because the blood tests were negative on Friday, so I'm going to be fine. But yeah, but as a result of that, obviously I've got tonsillitis, so I'm on antibiotics. Now antibiotics, I've got to take 8 pills every day for 7 days, so another 5 days after today. So that's 8 pills. This is somebody that doesn't like taking pills, not because I can't take them, it's just like the concept of taking chemicals and things. Not the biggest fan, but I'm going to take these 8 pills. So I'm taking 8 antibiotics, 1 blood thinner, that's 9 pills. I've also got pills to take twice, 2 pills a day for a bladder issue. Basically, I've got an overactive bladder at the minute, so I'm constantly going to the toilet. So I've got to take these 2 pills for a month to see if that cools it down, basically. And then if it does, the doctor will be happy that it's an overactive bladder, and he says the best way to deal with it is through bladder training, which is where literally you think to yourself, I need to go to the toilet, I need to go to the toilet, and then you don't go for like a half an hour, busy yourself, distract yourself, and then go, and basically build up your, back to how you might have been previously, where you could go to the toilet, normally, rather than suddenly you sat here and next minute, within 10 minutes, if that, you think, oh, I'm desperate, like it's just come on, and then you can't, I feel like I can't hold it. It's just like overactive bladder muscles, basically, he says. So I've got to take 2 pills for that, so that's now 8, 10, 11 pills a day. And then I've just bought some apple cider, because I'm on this little health regime at the minute. I've just bought from Amazon for only £12.99 a pack of 180 vegan-friendly apple cider vinegar capsules, because according to the research of the old glucose goddess, which I'm following the principles of very, very closely right now, apple cider vinegar, before you eat, is really good for preventing a glucose spike, right? So I thought, I've tried the apple cider vinegar, it's palatable, but when you're doing it all the time, I'm sick of the taste of it. I'm sick of it now. So I thought, oh, I'm sure you can get, I went to my friend's house on Friday, and I was like, oh, what the hell are them? And she's got on her little sideboard, kitchen fitment, apple cider vinegar tablets. And I'm like, oh, look at them, what are them? Anyway, so I looked at them and thought, oh, now, I'll try these, because, it's supposed to be good for preventing a glucose spike, and, it's also supposed to, although again, research is quite limited, I suppose, on the subject, but they're also supposed to be suppress your appetite. I'm not eating them for that reason. I like having an appetite. But yeah, these are apple cider vinegar with cayenne pepper, turmeric, and ginger root. So you're getting a bit of turmeric, a bit of ginger, and all the rest of these other things that are supposed to be good for you. But these are really high strength, because in a dose, which is 2 capsules, regular doses 500 600 milligrams. These 2 capsules is 1,000 milligrams of apple cider vinegar concentrate powder. So my mantra is, I'm not taking 2 at the same time. I'm taking 1 before lunch and 1 before evening meal. I'm taking them separate, because I don't want to take 2 at the same time. It just seems like a lot to me. So that's 2. So that is 8, 10, 11, 12. That's 13. 13 pills a day for the next 5 days that I'm taking. And I laugh and joke at my mother when we go on holiday, when she brings her medication bag full of pills for this ailment and that ailment and the other ailment. And I've always been like, if I ever get to that stage, I'm already there. I'm already there. Oh, it's a nightmare. Anyway, there you go. I thought I'd share that with you. That my woes. Anyway, we're going to go to the ball, and then I'm going to eat my dinner, because it's ball time. So as we're getting ready, and we've got our suit on, and Dina hugs me from behind. Oh, give me a bit of a scare. And my wife fixes her hair in a nice elaborate braid, woven with ribbons. Yeah, the antibiotics, they do taste weird. They do taste weird. The antibiotics. I've noticed that when I've had them previously. They have got kind of a really strange taste. Papa, Mama told me it's time to go. Stroke her hair. Hello, darling. I'm ready. Where's your brother? I think Frankie's still upstairs. She shrugs. It's almost time to leave. The big ball is starting in less than an hour. Darling, Frank, it's time. Yeah, calling the other two. Where's the other people? Come on. Time's a ticking here. Got a ball to go to. So many. Yeah, 8 per day. I can't remember. Last time I had this, was it 8 per day? I can't remember. I think it was. 2 pills 4 times a day. Supposed to be taken on an empty stomach. Can you imagine trying to find an empty stomach at 4 points in the day? It's quite difficult. Monica comes downstairs. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair has been neatly pinned in a chignon. There's one of them. Showing off the pearl earrings I had given her for our 15th anniversary. If you want to see something interesting, zoom into the city names of Rumberg. And what? And see their culture. Okay. Okay, all those years she had stayed by my side. Now we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? And we take her hand and we kiss it. Of course we do. She extended her gloved hand and raised it to my lips. A little bit of playfulness here. In front of the kids as well, would you imagine? Ah, Monica, my darling, you look as gorgeous as the day we married. You must always compliment your better half. Come on now. Always give him a compliment, bloody hell. Even I know that, and I'm flipping Mr. Single here. Ah, now there's the charm that got you elected. Frank trudges down the stairs. Clearly Frank is not one for going to a ball. Teenage boy, balls, nah. This thing itches. Tugging at his collar. Of his new tuxedo. Oh yeah, well, yeah, come on. You've got to get him G'd up for this. I'm glad to have you with us for this big night, Frank. Come now. Oh, sure, Dad. I'm just dying to go. Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on? She pointed at the presidential guards at the door of the house. Yes, they flipping well are. These people are our friends, Dina. It's all right, baby. They're here to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Oh, my God. This is like a foreshadowing, isn't it? Popped off by the National Front people. Monica held Dina's hand. Together, flanked by the guards, we walked out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Dad, do I really have to go? Can I stay home instead? We leaned down and whispered in his ear. Now, Frank, I, too, am quite nervous about this. But, with you by my side, I've got no reasons to be nervous, have I? Eh? Well, when you put it like that, oh, fine, let's go. There you go. See, we're a family, man. We know all the lines. It almost makes you sick, doesn't it? Oh, come on. If this was real life, you just give a clip down the ear, get your tuxedo on, pal, and get in the car now. All right? That's what'll be happening. Sweet whisperings in ears. Now. Oh, come on. Making me sick, Anton Rain here. Presidential guards showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Sergei, my driver, ushered us into our armoured limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window deep in thought. Armoured motorcade. How things have changed since we became president. Your life will never be your own again, forever. Always have to be under protection. Whenever you walk in the street, you have to be flanked. Can't go shopping anymore, no. Want to go to your local shops, buy some alcohol, buy some chocolate? No chance. Not a prayer. Anton, what are you thinking about? That's a pet hate of mine. One of my many pet hates. If I'm silent and clearly in ponderance, the last thing I need is somebody saying, either talking to me or asking me, what are you thinking about? If I wanted to divulge what I was thinking about, I'd have told you. Or I may tell you. But right now, I'm in quiet contemplation. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thinking, because there's no option to tell us to shut the hell up. Joking. You've seen how we've answered. Are we going to say that to our wife? Of course not. I was thinking that we have come a long way together. We really have, haven't we? Yes. And there's still so much that we'll accomplish side by side. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be here for you. I'm going to help Papa fix everything. Oh, is she a sweetie pie? Frank rolls his eyes. I know you will, honey. And this means a great deal to me, having my 3 cherubs by my side. After what seemed like just a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Sergei rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition. We are here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive. Much appreciated, Sergei. How are you doing today? I'm just as good as can be, but today is your day, sir. I'm glad you are in charge now. You know, my entire family voted for you. I won't, that's a bit, but I don't like to promise these kind of things because you just never know, do you? So just thank you and your family, Sergei. I am here with all of your support. You and the rest of the people that voted. I am eternally grateful. No reason to thank me, sir. You are the one who sparked a glimmer of hope in us all. Sergei gets out, opens the door. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garish banners that made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats and celebrities, the creme de la creme of the Swordland elite, streamed inside the building. Good luck out there, Mr. President. I'll see you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices, camera flashes, hordes of journalists thrusting their portable microphones. Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, click, 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 Mr. President, Mr. President. It starts. Oh, it starts. My guards fended some of them off with baseball bats. But one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. Somebody's getting fired. I recognise the Swordish Broadcasting Company logo on her press lanyard. Mr. President, Do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? Excuse me, dear, this is a night for celebration, not a time for talking about policies. Now, if you'll excuse me... Does that mean you don't plan on working together? Do you think you share no common ground with the other parties? Did I say that? No, this is not how you handle the press, by the way. I've clearly not had press training. Leave things open to interpretation much? No, don't do that. Don't anger them, certainly not. We are clearly not trained. I did not say that, did I now? One more question. One of your first acts as president was to veto a campaign finance law that would have deprived small parties of public funds whilst increasing those channeled to your own. Are we seeing the beginning of a more egalitarian administration? Egalitarian? I have heard the word. I don't know what it means. I've had it with your damn questions. Step aside! Equal. Okay. Makes sense. Yes, no political party deserves to be silenced. Absolutely. Whether the bill was proposed, I will not use my veto on it if it goes against the interest of our democracy. That's quite a full answer. You know what? Yeah, she's finally got a tune out of us. Bloody hell, she's insisted, and finally we've bitten. Democracy is the key. Ooh, that is almost like talking out loud against your own party. This is not a good sign. We are really not doing this very well, are we? But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm almost like itching to see the car crash occur. That's enough, ma'am, said one of my guards while nudging the reporter away from me. The path through the crowd was now open, and we quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons in Swordan's colours of white, yellow and maroon. A lush maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. As I navigated through the crowd, a familiar figure stepped into my path. It was Bernard Circus. Swordish poet, novelist, story-writer, communist politician. Oh, he's the one that was kind of inciting rebellion or something, right? Yeah, I remember reading about this guy. The acclaimed poet and now MP. His face bore a look of subtle defiance. Congratulations, Mr. President Train. A remarkable achievement indeed. Okay, so we were both Red Youth members. Okay, I think we'll hark back to our Red Youth days. Just get it in there. Thank you, Mr. Circus. We've both come a long way from our Red Youth days, haven't we? Yes, we have. But some things never change, do they? I can't help but wonder how the winds of change will blow in our swordland now that you've taken the helm. Perhaps now is the time that our long-nurtured dream of revolution will finally become a reality. Swordland needs progress, not revolution. Any upheaval will endanger our chance for improvement. Remember, to ride towards the sun is to invite flame, yet only through fiery peril can true glory be found. The light of it binds us all. Danger and progress, they might be more intertwined than you think. I've taken up enough of your time, President Rain. This is your night, after all. Your family, friends, and country await. Thanks for sharing your wisdom, Mr. Circus. Enjoy your evening. Clearly a poet. Until we meet again. As I watched Bernard Circus blend back into the crowd, his words echoed in my mind. Were they mere poetic expressions or a reflection of the real socialist sentiments stirring within the country? Behind me I heard a familiar voice. Oh, good friend Peter. There they are, the most beautiful family in Swordland. Uncle Peter! Oh, hi, Uncle Peter. It's great to see you. You too are growing faster than I am getting wiser. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm still sticking with you. Happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn? Peter's wife Evelyn approached us and shook our hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. Congratulations, Anton. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Appreciate it, Evelyn. It means a lot. The pleasure is mine. I think it is time to celebrate this victory. Exactly. That's why we're here, isn't it? Celebration. One day, last day, let our hair down, and then the real work begins, even though I have done some real work already. We could start by getting some drinks. Peter grinned and beckoned a roving waiter. The four of us each took a glass of champagne. Monica, how are you? You've barely said a word. I'm more than relieved to have this roller coaster ride over with, but of course, now the real work begins. Ah, yes. Managing the help, planning parties, daily trips to the salon to look after you. You look your best for foreign dignitaries. Oh, don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of women throughout Swordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue, wouldn't you say, Anton? Absolutely. And we'll work together to achieve that. Monica flashed me a smile. Dina suddenly jumped in between us and tugged on my sleeve. Papa, can we go? I want to see the ballroom. I think we have to install a little bit of discipline, you know what I mean? We can't be too soft. Yeah, we're having a conversation here, Dina. What have I told you about interruptions? She turned away in disappointment. That's all right. We need to go anyway. It's already time. Okay. So we'll give her a little minor scolding there. Time to move to the ballroom before we go into the... That wasn't harsh. I mean, it's actually worded harshly. I was hoping that we would say it slightly more delicately than that. But anyway, before we go to the ballroom and the festivities begin, give me literally a couple of minutes just to eat some of this dinner, and I'll be back with you very shortly. Okay, sorry about that, but I had to devour my dinner. All done now, though, so we can proceed onwards for another... I think we'll finish at about 10:15, I think, today. So welcome, Hauler, and you're right, actually. The music is very much like RimWorld. It is very much like RimWorld. Oh, that game. Takes me back. 2020, March. We all know what happened there, don't we? That's when I started... That's near enough when I started playing it. I remember playing it whilst being ill. But also I remember the horrific ending of that series. As is naturally the case mostly with us, with that game. Very much a Dwarf Fortress mentality. You end up with total annihilation when things go wrong. Spiral of events. I wouldn't mind revisiting that game again in the future, you know, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind at all. I'm sure there's been lots of DLC since I last played it. Probably game updates. And I'm sure we could have just as much fun the second time round with a similar kind of play style where you guys take control of characters. It'd be quite cool again to get something like that done. But the ever-going list. Anyway, we're down, we're in the ball, we're listening to jazz music. Slow jazz. Oh, that was tiring, says Peter. What, sat there drinking champagne listening to jazz tunes? I thought it was quite fun, actually. Already tired? Do you know what? Nah. One for the road. Well... Oh! Suddenly a loud banging noise echoed from outside the ballroom, then another, and another. Gunshots! The musician stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both of our faces. Fireworks? No! Gunshots! As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. Shield Monica and the kids. Naturally. I threw myself on Monica, Dean and Frank to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it. We should have gone. Chaos broke out and some guests flung themselves under their tables and others ran towards the doors, screaming. Dina burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. Carl Grieser, who the hell is he? Chief of Police? Mr. President, are you all right? Carl Grieser, head of the Swordfish police force, was running towards us with 3 more police officers in decorated uniforms. They all had their guns drawn. As soon as he made it to us and saw that we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. Thank God! The hell is going on? 1 second, mister. 1 second! He turned around quickly to his men. Check the perimeter now! Paul, Jansen, follow my lead. We will bring them to the safe room. He now turned to Monica, Evelyn and the children and spoke in a softer voice. Do not worry. The situation is now under control. Please follow me. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace. His men still had their guns drawn, which did not do anything to ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. Not now, Peter. Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round a corner. Quiet, please. Sorry, I talk when I get nervous. Peter, shut up! Carl flipped a switch on the wall and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on. The safe room was comfortable and spacious, with expensive-looking leather sofas. Small security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There was a boardroom and a pantry containing enough provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to being Peter. Do we have clowns for a security force? So what's the status? Carl's radio suddenly crackled to life. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it fell silent, he turned to us. Good news. We are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn and the kids. If I may, sir? He gestured towards a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We have confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reasons to believe he was working alone. He fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Who? Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He has not been identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was identified as Bernard Circus, the very man who we were talking to. Our fellow Red Youth person, the poet, the romantic communist. Many of his works, the greatest achievements in Swedish literature. Dead! Assassinated! This is huge, Anton. This will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be all right. Monica was still trying to tend to Dina and Frank. She paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed at home. Oh no, it's Frank, sorry, paced the room. No, look, we're going to go back and comfort our children and the kid, and our wife. This is a very serious situation. I sat down beside them. We are safe. I'll make sure everything's going to be fine. Nothing like this will ever happen again. I mean, again, we can't promise that, can we? We can't be sure of anything anymore, Anton. I lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe. At all costs. I crushed the cigarette on the ashtray. Okay, that was a bit of high drama. Politicians murdered outside the palace? What the hell is happening here? This is not a good look for our bloody time as president, is it? It's just started and somebody's dead. Assassinated right in front of the bloody palace. Not that is the main concern. The main concern is a man has died. And that's also 1 vote gone. That's another way to look at it. Right, connections. Updates. What have we got updated? Mansoon Lek. Has he just come into the party as a result of this other person's departure? Bluish descent. Current leader of the Independents. Oh, this is an interesting little plot twist. He's a bluish fella. Strong advocate for the rights of religious and ethnic minorities. Had to leave university without finishing a degree because of his bluish background and his left-leaning views. Okay, so he is an independent. I don't know why this has just come on as an update. Bernard Circus was a Swedish poet, no longer alive. So he's a new person that's leading the independence. He was shot when he was leaving Anton Rain's inauguration ball by a member of the Young Saws. We didn't know that. Right-wing nationalist political organisation with connections to a number of armed attacks. A youth organisation, close ties to the National Front. This is what I fear about. This is my biggest fear. Oh, Jesus. Right, what else have we got connection-wise? Anything else? Cabinet member? Factions? Legislative? There he is. Mansoon Lek, spokesperson of the Independents. Well, that's quite an important development, isn't it? Wouldn't you suggest? Wouldn't you suggest? I'd suggest so. Quite a development. Right. News! Swordland today. MP shot. Nation. And Nathan as well. Nathan and Nation, both in shock. Swordland has been shocked by grave news today as an elected member of parliament has been shot dead in a suspected political assassination. Police sirens were heard around the clock today as the whole Sword police force increased security around the capital. The fact that such a violent act happened at the heart of the capital during the new president's inauguration celebrations has worried many citizens. The Red Youth is reported to have promised revenge. This seems like it has the potential to be a spark that would swirl Swordland into the political violence of the 1920s. Rain not interested in cooperation. I didn't shut down call from cooperation. You damn press. I didn't say that at all. Chose to make no comments. Yes, because I was on the way to a flipping ball. Oh, shut up, you damn bloody gutter press. Right, look at the I did look at the Rumberg city names. When I was having my tricking chow mein, I zoomed in. They're very, very English, aren't they? Gaschester, Desax, Rooston, Northamptonshire. That's why I meet with Marcel's. Oh, yeah, Marcel better just get them told to keep their claptrap to themselves. Only quote what is I've said, not what you may imply or think I may have implied by saying or not saying something. You don't. What's this? We're still on turn 1 here, actually, by the way. Right, let's carry on. We might end the stream when we get to turn 2. 3 streams to end 1 turn. This must be a record for this game, surely. Emergency meeting. Yeah, we'll get to that. Read the report. Security increased. Security measures have been heightened after the murder, as you would expect. Okay, we're revising the entrance procedures with advice from security professionals. Police chief has reported that an investigation has been... Oh, you're not kidding. You're not kidding, pal. An investigation, really. A murder investigation, nonetheless. Emergency meeting. The mood in the Situation Room was gloomy. We've got Lilius here. We've got Nia Morgan, Minister of Justice. Peters, Vice President. We've got Iosef Lanceya, Minister of Defence. He's the guy with the... Yeah, big man. And we've got Lucien Gillard, Chief Strategist. Ambrister, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not going to look at these people this session, but before the next session, because we've now seen them for the first time, I will look at Iosef and Nia as well. Lilius presents the initial report. Bernard Circus was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of Assembly, as you know, a famous communist. She spat the last word out with some distaste. The guards at the scene were 50 meters away and immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as a member of the nationalist organisation Young Swords. The president and his family were unharmed, praise God. Interesting questions, all of them. What were the motivations of such a horrid act? Our investigators are suspecting a political assassination, since the Young Swords have been threatening the communists for some time. This may well create a dangerous atmosphere, where the left versus right political violence of the 1920s could spark once again. A return to those days would be devastating. Coups are the reason our country stagnated for a decade. Near Morgner sighs. The Red Youth has condemned the killing, but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. This will in turn spark further aggression from the Young Swords. The whole cycle started because Bernard Circus expressed his views. We can't simply look away. Nia had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. She had survived countless attacks of her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of moral duty. Freedom of expression is part of our constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing different opinions. I fully agree. We should protect freedom of speech. Our laws do, and for good reason. Silencing voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. We had that before, and know very well how it was. I hear your concerns. Our police do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We will prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are re-evaluated. Minister of Defence, Josef Lancia, grunted in approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform, his many war medals conspicuously on display. Agreed, ma'am. Our gendarmerie will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. There might be more violence to come. We should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. It will only add fuel to the fire. It is political, though, isn't it? But yes, we do need to diffuse the situation. And yes, we are a Red Youth from our youth. But I don't think we were like staunch members, you know. Nonetheless, ultimately, we certainly need to diffuse it. By what? Smoke and mirrors? Smoke and mirrors. Yes, he wasn't killed because it was political. He was killed because it was a random man on drugs. How about that? Our government is capable to maintain security. Our job will be to reduce tensions. Several police cars rushed past the Maroon Palace and everyone was silent. Regardless, a full investigation into all involved parties is underway. We will find the subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. I'll do my best to help coordinate the administrative tasks. Justice will be served and the rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country. We must think about the upcoming budget. Oh, this slipping it in now, are you? making a decision to increase security funding already? Seems a bit knee-jerk to me, but I mean, this has just happened, so I mean, if you wanted a catalyst to loosen the purse strings a bit, when it comes to all things security... But should we let the investigation take its course first? What if it's just a coincidence? Oh, so this is more of a I agree, I disagree. Right, okay. Okay, in that case, too soon to jump to conclusions. We have to make sure we are in possession of the full facts before making any decisions. Agreed. We need to be patient until we have the full picture. Lucian taking notes after checking the latest newspapers and reports. It seems that the tensions between the communists and nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there is chaos in the country. We will make it through this and deliver our promises. A rallying cry here. We can't focus on the negatives. We must focus on what we need to deliver, what we need to achieve, and we shall make moves forwards. Hell yeah, President Rain! Alright, Peter, calm down. This will be it for today, then. We will convene again soon. Thank you all, and keep us updated. The meeting concluded, and the ministers left the room with concerned looks. It was hard to anticipate what would happen next. Bing, bing, bing. What's pinging and what's ponging today? Continue. Is this new day? New dollar? A few days later. See you later, Oliver. A few days later, we have 50,000 emails. Right, we're going to advance the time probably once more, and then we'll call a close, I think. We've got a crap ton of bloody reports, news articles. I'm wondering actually if we're going to have time to advance, or maybe we should end right here on a cliffhanger. We've just been shot at, things have gone to hell in a handbasket, and now we need to do some stock take. I'll whiz through these reports first, to be fair. In world news, Smolak warns traitors. The latest diplomatic message from the leader of Wayland warned us regarding a pathway from the mountains of Berger that allowed traitors to the state escaping to Swordland. President Smolak has demanded that the border of security be increased. He also sent his best wishes about handling the protest in Swordland. Agnolia. Diplomatically critiqued the imbalance of trade between our countries. Concerns were raised over how much more Swordland profits from net trade in comparison to Agnolia. He wants a fair re-evaluation of existing treaties in future negotiations. Oh, someone's getting a bit pissy. Oh dear. We're creating more trade routes. You'll get trade soon, don't worry. So stop having a hissy fit, will you? Right, and now news closer to home. So Estord, we haven't seen much about these areas yet. But basically police overburdened here. Lack of equipment and staff from the police forces in the area. With the escalating violence in the city, the officers have been working 12-hour shifts to suppress the protests to no avail. The police commissioner has requested reinforcements and extra supplies of tear gas from nearby cities. In Narbel, more understaffed police issues. Officers have been sent to hospitals as a result of severe fatigue. We're trying to address the issue. And in Bergia, Young Swords Youth Wing leader dead after terror attack. Local Young Swords Youth Wing leader in Suzerain, Iak Toiran, has claimed responsibility for the organised attack in the Blue Dish Market that resulted in the death of 7. His base of operations had been raided and he was found dead inside with 2 bullet wounds to the back of his head. The scene was organised to make it look like a suicide. We were not able to get information out about the location. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, I've missed that now. I think we can see it in somewhere else. Previous reports. Read the report. Illegal KA-74s seized. A cache found with Rumberg-made weapons, including 47 brand new KA-74s, loads of bullets, 12 handguns, 27 grenades, bomb-making equipment, found in the basement of an abandoned house. No suspects have yet been detained and investigation is ongoing. Illegal firearms found in Communist Party office. The Communist Party of Swordland, 22 members have been detained. Sol Dam at maximum capacity. The Sol Dam has reached maximum capacity. Oh no, that's not good. Is this where the Sol Dam is then? Yeah, the Sol Dam. Here in Suzerain. Oh dear. Oh dear. Rumberg and their weapons. Now they're filtering into our lands. This is not good. Right, what have we got? We've got, oh, Valgan. This is where another dam is, and this has got, Valgan is a town that's fertile. Lots of lemons here. Citrus fruits. What's happening here? Communist Party leader suspected of bomb attack. Milt Hainer. What is going on? So this is real tensions happening. And Jen, obviously clearly nationalist, weapons seized, wardrobe full of heavy military equipment in a Young Swords cultural centre of Jen. Owners and 13 other people detained. 22 rifles, 2 machine guns. Old weapons, but kept in very good condition. This is not good, is it? This is absolute carnage here. News articles, 7 of the damn things, right. Swordish politician shot dead. The Whole Sword Post. Shot a number of times by a gunman at the entrance of the Maroon Palace. Was identified to be a member of the Young Swords. Despite his radical views, Mr. Circus was elected to be an independent member of the Assembly in 1953 elections, and sadly did not manage to live long enough to serve his duty. He was said to have repeatedly received threats from Swordish nationalists who viewed him as a traitor for promoting millennialism. What is this? Communist theory. We've seen that before, I think. Television footage showed the famous poet's body lying face down, draped with a white sheet, on the pavement in front of the gates of the Maroon Palace. Funeral held tomorrow in Dare. Swordland today. Unity despite differences. Swordland has 2 paths to the future, and this year is critical to decide which path we embark upon. Amid a recession, the lack of stability and security caused by the death of Bernard Circus is an unacceptable reality. We need more jobs and a safe atmosphere for our country is supposed to grow and prosper. But how will we increase our employment and open new factories if there is blood flowing down the streets? So basically, this is trying to urge us to bail out businesses. Bail out the businesses. Murder was a method of the past. The tensions between the left and right extremists have increased in the country after the assassination of MP Bernard Circus. Protests of Melanivist groups quickly turned into riots around the country. We're calling for peaceful protest and dialogue instead of violence. After the attack that prompted the riots, a member of the Young Swords assassinating a member of Assembly clearly shows that they are willing to use extreme action, said Friends Richter in his speech in the Grand National Assembly. We live within these borders together, and therefore we all bear a responsibility, a duty to live together with our differences. Richter's unifying message is something that we should all listen to in these times of danger of loss. The murder was method of the past, and it has tainted us, reminded us of who we were before and who we don't want to become in the future, said Richter, and stated that we as citizens of this nation all bear responsibility beyond ideologies, partisanship, or any other identity. A radical. Farewell, Bernard Circus. It's a sad moment for Swordland. We have lost a renowned poet who not only wrote about the struggles of the working class, but also acted on them. However, his decision to enter Swordist politics was met with a sick attack that ended his life. This was indeed intended as a message to all opposing voices in Swordland. We, the team here at the Radical, condemn this evil act of terror of the Young Swords, who we believe must be held accountable as a whole group. It is finally the time for the government to realise this organisation as a terrorist threat and serve the justice that is due. Bernard Circus is always going to be in our hearts as a great Swordish poet, as a revolutionary, as a leader of the Swordish avant-garde, as a futurist, as a romantic, a millennialist, but beyond all as a symbol of freedom of speech. He is now a man who was murdered for speaking his mind. This cannot remain as yet another political murder of the sad reality of Swordland. In fact, it is time to change this. It is time to speak up as people. The most beautiful sea hasn't been crossed yet, said the great poet, reminding us to always have hope. And we must strive to have hope and to make them a reality. It is the best way to honour his memory. Bernard Circus will be laid down in Dare tomorrow. Any citizen who wants to pay respect is invited to attend. Geopolitico. Valskland labour unions drive further decentralised economic growth, empower workers. Arcasian PMC descends on Maribone amid resource extraction controversy. PMCs? It's Metal Gear Solid 4. Yeah, boring. What's all this rubbish? Oh, 17% increase in productivity, 33% rise in worker satisfaction, decentralised structures across various sectors of the economy, great momentum. What are they doing? Decentralised economic growth. Form of socialism. Okay. Right, it's almost 1:15, but I want to just kind of... Oh, dinner with family at home. Read the report. What's this? Reports of BFF activity in the capital. 2 Bluedish women with affiliations to the Bluedish Freedom Front have been caught in Holsword before they could execute a terror attack at a crowded rally. Both women are listed as wanted criminals and enemies of the state. They have admitted their intentions to attack the National Front Party's rally at Sol Square, where Casaro Kibana gave his speech but rejected any connections to the BFF. Right. Security briefing. And I think security briefing first and then dinner. How about that? We'll do both of these and then we'll call it a close. Maybe 10:30. Arrived in front of the doors leading to the Situation Room. Today's security briefing was arranged in 2 parts, starting with internal matters and moving on to external matters after a short break. Lilith is here, Nina Morgan's here, or Nia rather. And then we've got Iosif coming afterwards with Vulcan Kruger, Chief of the Armed Forces. Everyone rises as I open the door. Sir? Everybody please take your seats. The president's serious for a change. Normally, we're always serious, but normally it's all very much like, hi, how you doing? You know, very personable. Today, business. Sit down. If you don't mind. Everyone in the room sat down except for Lucian, who puts his glasses on and goes through the documents in front of him. And then he raises his head. Mr. President, ladies, we will kick off today's meeting with the internal security briefing. I'm assuming everyone has already been over the agenda. We all have busy schedules, so without further ado, I will jump into our first topic. As we feared, the political atmosphere has worsened. The reports around the country indicate that tensions are rising as we feared. What is the status on the Bernard Circus investigation? I have received news this morning that the investigation into the murder of Bernard Circus has concluded. Great news. I'm eager to hear all the details. Spare nothing, Lilius. After further investigation, the testimonies, we have confirmed the motive and also the events leading up to the shooting. A few days prior, members of the Red Youth initiated a violent attack on a Young Swords local leader in Jen. We believe the Young Swords then called for revenge, leading to the death of Mr. Circus. Since he often spoke against the Young Swords and nationalist sentiments in the Assembly, he was a big target, not to mention his radical communist views. Political violence needs to stop. Yes, we've kept it at bay for so long, but it seems that they are now new triggers. She's handing over the report and looking at our highlighted section. The investigation revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of the Red Youth have a clear link to United Contana. Dun dun dun! Basically a power way out somewhere else. Are you sure? Yes, we have found the cash trail. Several Red Youth members with ties to United Contana have been detained, and the information extracted from them points to a preparation for a communist uprising in Swordland. It isn't unusual for the superpowers to influence other nations, but I think this case is a little far-fetched. The left lacks popular support in Swordland. Nia eagerly lifted her head. We ask her to chirp up here. I went over the report in detail. It would be wrong to jump to conclusions about a clear foreign interference yet. United Contana has humanitarian and cultural ties with many countries, including Swordland. Yes, Nia, good point. I don't think we need to be jumping to any immediate knee-jerk conclusions. We do not want to create a crisis where there isn't one, without definite, firm evidence. Nearly 3 decades ago, they funded General Ricard and tried to establish a communist dictatorship in our country. If it was not for Colonel Sol, we would have seen the real crisis. Takes a sip of her water. I think that's she's probably hanging on to old ties. She's probably trying to fit them up. Our police chief, Carl Grieser, has linked the funding channel to the United Contana consulate in Benfey. As we all know, the enemies of Swordland are many, but we also have threats inside the country. Yes, we do. We need to remain vigilant, clearly. If we give up essential freedoms to purchase temporary security, we deserve neither freedoms nor security. Yeah, we like Nia. She's very measured. Very measured is our Nia. We like her. In fact, worked as an attorney previously in our very own hometown. Strong critic of Tarquin Sol's programs and vocal about her opposition to the Supreme Court's authority on state matters. Ooh, interesting ally potentially here. Okay. This is debatable, but yes, we know what more security and surveillance caused to this country under President Sol. Let's not forget that President Sol, God bless him, brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos. But moving on, our highest internal threat comes from the estimated 20,000 strong Bludish Freedom Front, led by imprisoned Dulan Arg. They are a banned political organisation, now a militant force, that is trying to incite racial violence. Are they supported by our Bludish citizens? To some extent. Luckily they couldn't attract a wide audience of Bloods, but they could potentially attract thousands if anti-Bludish sentiment spreads in Swordland again. She points to page 3. Our intelligence intercepted 2 crates filled with weapons close to the Rumberg border. They were filled with military-grade Ka-74s. We expect that more have been smuggled in. A group of Blues were caught with these guns at the checkpoint not far away. The governor of Berger, Felix Bronn, is already taking the necessary measures to counter the threat. Rumberg has been acting aggressively in the region for a long time. I'm not surprised that they would attempt to weaponize the Bludish people against us. This is worrying. Very worrying. Yeah, I'm slipping a few weapons into some kind of terrorist types. Yeah. They've got form for giving weapons to people they shouldn't be. These Rumbergs. To keep level-headed here, especially with Rumberg. They are clearly looking for a reaction so that they can then take action. Let us not fall into any traps here. They will play dirty while we play nice. It is a battle we will lose. This is grave news. But we must be careful not to stoke the fires of anti-Bludish sentiment. Unfortunately, Governor Bronn is directly causing the tensions to increase with his increasingly anti-Bludish stance. I must remind you that Governor Bronn is directly responsible for the arrest of Dulan Arg, the previous leader of the BFF. It's true that his methods can be extreme at times, but it was his policies that kept the region peaceful over the last decade. He is misusing the powers given to him by Tarquin Sol. The insane authority of the governor is surely a root cause. It would be very difficult to revoke the special status of Berger under the current circumstances, Miss Morgana. The presidents no longer have the authority Tarquin Sol enjoyed. For now, yes, but with enough justification for it, it would be possible. Anyway, we will be discussing this at a later time. No, I'd like to hear more, actually. As you know, Berger was given a special status by Tarquin Sol after the full-scale uprising by the BFF against the Swordish government in 35. Those couple of years were disastrous for Berger. Dulan Arg and the BFF declared war on us, openly attacked our people and occupied entire cities. It was a massive uprising, but I'd like to point out The longest time they were in control of a city was 2 weeks. I wouldn't call that an occupation. Despite the arrest of Julian Arg in 44 and the BFF ceasing its activities, the special status of the region were never revoked. Today, the special zone of Berger gives the governor insane amounts of authority. He was in trouble with the law before for not following the central government's authority. Unfortunately, Berger also has its own police forces directly commanded by Governor Bron. They are not part of my ministry and only cooperate when they are forced to do so. This is a problem, even if she admits it's a problem. Now don't forget, right at the start, did I not, when I took my notes out last session, said that the Bluder situation and this whole Berger governor thing, we were probably going to have to step in at some point. Well, we're stepping in soon, I think. Even though our forces have the authority to serve in Berger, the special zone leaves the security of Berger mostly in the hands of the governor. That leaves my hands tied. Right, here we go. What were we saying here? Yes, the discrimination that poor Berger is suffering is maddening. We should find a way to revoke the special status of Berger one way or another. And that is my say on the matter. I will do my best, Mr. President, says Morgner, Miss O'Neill. What is the second most important threat? Gang violence that is threatening the Nagis and Angland regions. Two prominent organised crime families are at war and the potential for bloodshed is real. Okay, name the families. The Coronelli and the Skinner cartel. They used to be allies until a recent disagreement. Both are active in the cities of Narbel and Estord. Lilius, I trust that you can handle them. Delegation. I am doing my best, sir. I shall be honest with you, though. With our current capabilities, we may not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Burgess, Nagis and Angland. If the law enforcement budget isn't increased, I can't be fully responsible for what happens. Our police units are spread thin as is. Okay, I might increase the law budget, not committing, but I'll think about it. We will rid our country from separatists and violent thugs if you do so. I wish you would stop using the word thugs, Lilius. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gang violence and is very likely the reason why these weapons were smuggled in. A higher budget could help us end that. Make a note of that. What we're making a note of? That I'm going to increase the police budget. I'll remember that. On consequences for budget decision. So basically, yeah, we got present the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Berger. So Berger special zone, we're trying to get rid of it. So to get rid of it, we're going to have to police it. These other two regions, we've just seen the tooltips that have told us that these regions are suffering. I'll tell you what could happen. Corruption is the root of all evil, after all. Your ministry must tackle the issue with persistence, Miss Morgner. Do not stop till you achieve that end. We are, but all it needs all the attention it can get from our administration. Lilius and Nia openly scowling. Okay. Thanks for the overview. Have a good day. Until next time. Here comes the two military men. Upon invitation, Iosef Lancia, along with 3 high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defence, walked into the room. One of the men was none other than General Kruger, the Chief of the Armed Forces. I'll remember it, it's fine. Iosef made his way towards the table. Don't forget, I can always watch this back as well. Mr. President. Welcome, Iosef. We've calmed down since we first entered the room. We were a bit more abrupt. I brought General Kruger with me due to the escalation on our borders. General Kruger stepped forward and saluted. He had a strong jaw with sharp cheekbones. His tall stature, uniform and medals, combined with his deep and intense stare, made him look threatening. He was in his 70s, yet he had a bulky body that was the result of his commando training. Not only was he the second most decorated officer in Swordland, he was also the longest serving. General Kruger. Perhaps we'll give him a salute. Why not? We'll give him a salute. He smiled at the gesture and bowed his head in respect. Iosef tapped his foot impatiently. He seemed uneasy with the presence of another high-ranking officer in the room. Gentlemen, thanks for coming to the significant gathering. Let's begin. Let's take their seats. Mr. President, the situation at the western and northern borders towards Rumberg is very tense. We are observing deployments of divisions closer to our border. Rumberg has been acting increasingly expansionist in the past decades and also interfered in Agnolia. Now they have turned their sights on us. What is your current strategy? Patrolling close to the borders with our border force and keeping an army reserve division near. Seems like they want to increase the pressure both externally and internally. Mr. President, if I may. Yes, please do, General. The picture is becoming clearer. The latest information from the interior about the weapons caches, and now there is an active military build-up close to our borders. The entire situation was analysed by our general staff, and our prediction is a future territorial incursion by Rumberg. Well, our general staff is made up of very experienced people, but are they completely and utterly neutral is the question. But we do trust in our general staff. We will not let you down, Mr. President. The general staff is composed of the smartest military individuals. I require an increase in the military budget to enlist more soldiers. Only then we can stand strong against our enemies. The enlarged armed forces will hold them at bay. Vulcan is right, yes. We do need an increase in the military budget. Although we don't see eye to eye on exactly how to spend the budget, that much we agree on. I have my concerns about Rumberg too. We need strong allies to withstand such a superior power. They are our nemesis. That is an understatement. Times are changing and war is coming, Mr. President. Whether we like it or not, we must be prepared. During the election, you said nothing about focusing on our military. I ask you to reconsider and to increase the military budget. The future and safety of Swordland is in your hands. I'm a man of my word, Iosef. Valuable trade, Mr. President. However, it will not help when the enemy arrives and are invading our city. Our forces would crumble under a decrease, and Rumburg would be much more compelled to exploit our weakness. Our country hasn't fallen to an invading force for 200 years. You cannot let it happen, Mr. President. We should find regional allies like Valksland or Lesbia to deter Rumburg. There are several options on the table. We can't count on that. That too is probably, you know, it's good to be able to defend yourself, but I think there's strength in numbers, as in numbers of allies. You know, I have played, you know, CK2 and games of that nature. Allies is where it all happens. Anyway, we should consider these options. They could be considered, but why ponder to others when we can solve these issues ourselves? We have no true friends outside these borders. Everyone fell silent when a soldier entered the room and let Iosef know that a call had come through from the ministry. Excuse me, Mr. President. Okay, he comes back in. His expression changed. Mr. President, there's been Rumburgian military activity close to the Narbel border. I just spoke with the local commander. Vulcan, we should go to the ministry. Get further updates from our branches. Understood. Raising military readiness is the first call of action. If there is truly an extraordinary attempt, we will relay it to you immediately. And wait for further orders, Mr. President. Remain calm, men, and make sure, heed these words, make sure not to escalate things. Nobody wants a war. We will exercise utmost caution, Mr. President. Hail Swordland! Hail! And off they go. Rumburg was already testing us, and the reports from the interior indicate interference inside our borders. Communists, nationalists, bludish rebels, Rumburg expansionism. What was next? Swordland had always been a key piece in the chessboard of the global rivalry between Arcasia and the United Contana, but in the recent years there was no such aggression from Rumburg. Not at these levels, at least. All it takes is one tiny spark to start the flames of war. The phone rang. Rumburg had decided to close their consulate in Leshaven. Holy flipping hell, we have got situations, we have got pings, we have got pongs, pingy pongs, we've got everything. Right, we're going to end the session right here. We have still got to go to dinner with the family, but we have had to put them on pause temporarily. City information. Oh dear, look at this. We've got widespread protests, political chaos. Oh, it's all kicking off here, boys and girls. But yeah, dinner with the family will have to wait. Off camera, I'll read the notes and the news articles, maybe bring them to you in a kind of a quick style rundown in the start of the next session. But for now, it's 20 to 11, which is probably the latest I've streamed for a little while actually. But this game is so much fun. So much fun. So, we have made some decisions. We have got ourselves our kind of pathway. I don't know whether it's going to lead us to utter chaos, whether it's going to lead us to a better Swordland, or whether we're going to be ousted before that happens. I don't know, or shot, or something. Who knows? But all I can say is we'll do our best. That's all we can do. But anyway, go forth, enjoy the rest of your afternoons, your evenings, wherever you are. Thank you for your assistance and for some of your explanations about certain things. Yeah, we'll be back with some more of this. Probably Sunday-ish. Sunday. Although I do want to probably get some recording sessions up where I can, especially for just some of the more kind of reedy stuff and less drama, less dramatic things. So, like, dinner with the family, few things to read, few papers, maybe go back and read a bit more about some countries. That could occupy 45 minutes in a recorded session between now and the next stream. So bear with me on that one. I'll probably try and get some of that done. But yeah, other than that, absolutely fantastic. Really enjoying the game. I hope you're enjoying watching too. But anyway, thanks for watching, folks. Have a good one. It's time for my evening cup of tea. And until next time, I'll see you soon.